Hi, I'm Colin Handley, Principal of the Stunt Academy in Australia. This session is all about high falls. I want to talk through the safety procedures, the landing apparatus, the techniques of high falls, and what sort of problems you might encounter. First of all, landing rigs. What you see behind me is an airbag. This airbag was made in Poland. Very, very good airbag. Airbags have been around for at least 20 to 30 years now as stuntmen decided to try new technologies. Prior to airbags, we used to land on box rigs. Box rigs would be folded cardboard boxes. You could build them to any size, and you would normally build a row of folded boxes and then put a layer of flat boxes over the top of them, and then another layer of folded boxes, another layer of flat, and you would just keep building until you got to the required height. You may then cover them with soft mats. Landing in a box rig is quite comfortable, but of course you damage the boxes you land in, and someone's got to climb in there to replace them each time you fall. The other thing you can land on are soft mats. So rubber foam mats are often used for landing in, but they're very heavy. Once you get anything over a meter, they're quite heavy to move around, but you can certainly land in soft mats. So they're the basic landing rigs you're going to use. Let's talk safety. So with safety with high falls, obviously you do not want to come in landing on your head. You could turn yourself into a paraplegic or quadriplegic, so you wouldn't want that to happen. And you don't want to come in on your feet. If you come in on your feet, usually you ricochet and your whole body will jerk and you can break bones. You want to land flat on your back, usually spreading the arms and the feet as much as you can. However, there's a couple of techniques that I'm going to show you. The ultimate landing position for me would be arms spread at 45 degrees, feet spread, and head sitting back. I could try to keep my head to my chest like this. However, the weight of your head is often going to throw your head back. So it's best to lay it backwards. The other thing, if you straighten your knees, if you over-rotate, you can end up jarring your knees. So you want to have them slightly bent, but definitely apart. Because if you do over-rotate, you don't want to head between your knees or hit yourself in the face. Another method is to have arms out in star shape. This is okay, however, you've got more power and control by pushing downward with your hands. So this sort of position would be optimal. So that's landing positions. So before we go into the actual techniques, I want to talk about the airbag. Normally, if we had beginners, we would have people on each corner of the airbag holding onto the straps in case that beginner shot out too far or off to the side, and we could literally pull the bag under them. I'm going to be doing it with my daughter Shaya. We're both professionals, so there's no risk of not landing in the center of the bag, so we won't have any spotters today. Let's talk a little bit about trajectory. As you take off from the top of the tower, you have a parabola-shaped trajectory. The harder you push, the further you will travel, and then the higher you are, once again, the further you'll travel. You will get to a point where you're falling vertically. So you want to make sure you allow for all of those things. We rarely ask you to push out too hard. If anything, it's just step and float down, trying to come in vertically. There are lots of different types of falls, which I'll discuss when we go into the demonstrations. Thank you for watching so far. So basically, when we're doing any sort of high fall training with beginners, we always start at the lowest level, and we start with the easiest and most basic technique. So Shay's going to demonstrate a step out or a layout, and you can see from that height, there's not a lot of movement because she's only really about 5 or 6 feet from the top of the airbag. From that height, it's about 20 feet. And you'll be able to see her trajectory and her landing position. Perfect landing, and you would notice also there was a little bit of body movement. We try and encourage a little bit of body movement, otherwise we might as well throw a dummy out of a window or off the tower. So a little bit of body movement shows that it's a human being falling to their death or trying to survive. About to do a backfall. Backfall, in my opinion, is the most dangerous of falls because, one, you can't see where you're going. 2, you can over-rotate backwards or under-rotate and come in on your feet. You definitely don't want to over-rotate and come in on your head. So rotation is the key, controlling that. Usually I'm looking between my legs and I'm stepping off with one foot to try and control that rotation. This next fall is called a face-off. The idea is you come face first, heading straight to the mat as if you're going to face plant. The last split second, you turn to your back. A couple of different techniques to turn. You can punch across your shoulder. You can do a circus turn, dropping one arm. Or you can just use hip and shoulders and turn to your back. This next fall is called a header. A header is a 3/4 front somersault landing on your back. It's most commonly used in films where someone gets shot, falls off a tower, or gets blown off a tower and goes into this 3/4 front somersault. The hazards with a front header is that you can over-rotate and come in on your feet. Really dangerous, you're getting whiplash in your back and neck. Or under-rotate and don't quite come around far enough, come in on your head. So my objective with this fall is to, because I'm high, I'm 14 meters up, is to control my rotation by spotting, by watching my mark. And as I'm watching my mark, I'm trying to come in fairly vertically and then last minute just tuck under. And I'd rather land on my back and shoulders than over-rotate onto my legs. So that concludes our high fall instruction session. As you can tell, we've covered basic techniques like a layout or step out, a back fall, a face off, and a header. And then I had Nick doing some fairly incredible tricks. So you will see that it's unlimited as to the sorts of techniques you can come up with, but you've got to have amazing body control. The other thing I'd like to quickly finish on is commitment. When you're up there, it's going against all your human instincts of survival. Jump off a perfectly good building, kicks fear into your body. You're going, why am I doing this? So you have to control that fear. That's what we call courage. We basically say fear is your safety belt. It makes you focus, it makes you concentrate, and you must visualize your technique being perfect. If you're visualizing an accident or something horrific, then that's likely to be the outcome. So you want to visualize a perfect technique, perfect landing, big smile on your face, and a happy ending. So basically visualization, commitment, and of course confidence. And confidence will come from the more training that you do. In your high fall endeavors, I wish you the very best. Be safe, start low, perfect your techniques before you go any higher.